Thank you so much for spending this hour with us every day. You know, I love to have fun on this show, but we also get down to some serious business when we have to. And today is one of those days because we're talking about children being sexually abused at an alarming rate in the United States. But it's not the end of the story. Not if Angela Williams has anything to do about it. She is the founder of Voice, and that means a voice for those who have no voice. Thank you and welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Dee. It's good to be back.
It's so interesting that I met you at the beginning of your journey.
8 years ago.
You said, I want voices. I want to be a voice for those who don't have a voice, and I want people who have a voice to be more empowered to speak out. Well, what is your story? Why are you so impassioned about this?
Well, I was a child that I really don't remember a day of innocence. I was sexually abused for 14 years by my stepfather from age 3 to 17. So as I grew into an adult, I struggled and found very few resources to help me heal. And then as I became a new mother, I found very few resources to help prevent child sexual abuse.
Wow.
So really was out of my own journey of wanting to make a difference. You know, this is such a, it's not even an epidemic anymore. We're dealing with a pandemic when 1 out of every 5 children approximately is sexually abused by their 18th birthday, and only 1 in 10 ever tell. We've got to do more. We're not doing enough to protect our children.
Wow. 42 million adults walking around in the United States now.
Reported,
who have reported they've been sexually abused as children. And that's a huge number. I'm going to go back with you just a little bit. Did you ever decide that I want to prosecute my stepfather? Did that ever occur?
No, because I was so afraid and I was so young. And I think that so often perpetrators just really manipulate and intimidate their victims into silence. Wow. And I was one of those that was intimidated into silence.
Wow. Is that part of the prosecution? Is that and we probably all have a family member or a friend who will tell you something that happened 10, 20, 30 years later, and they're only now ready to talk about it. So how do you prosecute someone who did something 30 years ago? Is that part of your dilemma?
Unfortunately, the statute of limitations only allows you to prosecute if you have DNA evidence. So very seldom do we have DNA evidence. So that's why Voice Today
oh my goodness.
advocated for a new bill that just got passed in Georgia called the Hidden Predator Act. That bill was signed into law last July. And for any of your viewers that have been sexually abused, they currently have a 2-year retroactive window that is open until July of 2017 to bring civil charges against their perpetrators.
Wow. We're going to go to a break and we'll be back with more on Voice Today. We're talking about a pandemic. It's not just a problem here, it's a problem around the world of children who are being used as sexual devices for those who want to please themselves that way, and it's not going away without a fight. We'll be back after this with Angela Williams. We're talking about a subject that a lot of people have kept hidden out of embarrassment, out of fear, and yet there is a movement now to say it is only going to get better if you bring it out in the open. And that doesn't mean that to your detriment, but someone may need counseling, someone may need some help, but talking about it, getting the word out, and understanding what some of the risk factors are, and it may blow your mind. One of the risk factors is being a child in a single-parent home of an African-American mother. You're less likely to be abused if you have 2 parents. Things that we think are always the reason someone might have gotten abused is not always that answer. What are some of the other risk factors?
Well, I think children who need affirmation. Certainly children with disabilities are more vulnerable to be sexually abused. We're living in a society right now where it's very difficult for even two family parents in a home. So children are left alone a lot of latchkey kids. Children are being exposed to pornography earlier and earlier,
I don't know if
they become sexualized so early.
Sexualized, that's the
Our
word.
media is sexualizing our children. There's so many toxic images. So children are not being protected in the area, and predators will prey on those children, the child that needs more affirmation or needs more time. So we need to be conscious of that one-on-one interaction between an adult and a child, and we need to pay attention to how a child reacts around an adult.
Okay. We've got 2 minutes, Angela. I want you to speak to them about what are some of the signs that it is likely happening.
Well, you want to look for a child that you see a drastic change in behavior that you cannot explain. So you want to look for a child maybe that's having night terrors, wetting the bed. Maybe their grades have changed at school. Maybe they're withdrawn. Maybe they're acting out. They're angry. But a change in behavior. And you don't want to dismiss it. You know, we are not speaking about the issue of child sexual abuse. We're not asking the important questions. Does anyone in your life make you feel uncomfortable? We're not giving them permission to come and tell you. 93% of the time, the child is going to be sexually abused by someone that they know, love, and trust. So you know, love, and trust them. So it's just critical that we, as adults, pay attention and think that they possibly could be being sexually abused.
And what are the ages that it is most likely going to happen?
The median age of sexual abuse is 9 years old. So that's the median. So it can happen younger, it can happen older. But we're seeing younger and younger children victimized, and we're seeing a lot of youth-on-youth sexual abuse also, which is heartbreaking. But April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, and I would love for your viewers to go to our website at voicetoday.org, and there's so much valuable information on how they can protect their children and the children in our communities from child sexual abuse. And April 30th is White Out Child Sexual Abuse Day, and we're asking everyone to wear white for the innocence of a child.
Wow, we have about a minute and a half. Can we resolve what happened with you? Did you forgive your stepfather, and what happened?
By the grace of God, I forgave my stepfather, I forgave my mother, but I was really put on the streets at age 17 to fend for myself, and it's just been
you exposed it?
Because I exposed it. So it's just been a journey of healing. I think I get a piece of my healing every day that I can go advocate for a child and help another victim get their voice, because child sexual abuse takes your power away, it takes your voice away. But the secrets make us sick. So we've got to expose these secrets in our communities, and we've got to expose the perpetrators in our communities, and we've got to protect our children. It's time.
April 30th, wear white.
Yes, ma'am.
And go to the site, read, look at some of the risk factors. We don't want to be vigilantes, but we don't want to be someone who has their eyes closed and ignoring a child that may need to be rescued. Angela, thank you so much for being with us.
It's been a
can
pleasure.
still smile.
Yes.
This is what you do. It's very heavy on the heart, but you're dealing with it. And thank you so much. We'll be back after this. We'll be back tomorrow, actually. It's the Dee Armstrong Show. Thanks for being with us.